I know him as an artist.
Say me bottle and spoon, mango be ringing out well tune.
Not that.
I know him as a businessman.
I put a dash.
I know him as a politician.
Sardine in a kind of me arrow sauce.
And I know him as a lineman partner.
What she did tell me is a show of surprise.
But I never said that. And now I hear this one as a tanker gas at home. 15 years.
Never used.
Never used.
They ain't crazy like me.
my reputation is already shattered with this. This is sardine in a kind of me arrow sauce.
First you say a prayer.
Coming to a recipe book near you.
I must admit that this is a very challenging. We cook it so good, I tell you, that there's no time to stop. This is me and Diva and all the rest having a damn good time on top.
Thursdays are going to be popping right here at TTT at 8 p.m. It's time finally to have Penny on Point back on screen, an award-winning show. And to share with us a bit more this morning is Colin Greaves, producer. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure to have you on the show this morning. Now, of course, you are no strangers to our morning show. We had the pleasure of being with you and the team to pop a few bottles in celebration of some of the awards. And this is definitely just the beginning of the awards taking place.
And it's so refreshing that it's just the beginning. However, it's like 2 consecutive years of awards. You know, when we would have started with the concept of the show in 2020, it was pretty simple. It was that, one, there was a lot of negativity happening with the pandemic. You know, everyone was overwhelmed with negative news and consuming so much of that was dominating the airwaves. So we decided that, you know, we needed to put something positive out into the universe. So that was the first thing, about putting positive TV out there. And secondly, we definitely wanted to showcase and highlight that Trinidad and Tobago is capable of producing world-class television content. And it was as simple as that. So it was about showing that, you know, from right here, we can produce shows that will win awards, that will dominate the Caribbean, that is literally could be aired and seen on any network anywhere around the world. And so far, you know, we're thankful for accomplishing that. You know, having won the Caribbean Media Award for things Best Entertainment Magazine Television Program and Best Television Comedy Program is great. I mean, and this is the second year that we've won Best Television Magazine on the whole. So we're getting there.
You are getting there, and I think it's just a domino effect from now on. We'll see those awards coming in. But let's talk about the fact you said 2 years this show has been happening, and I'm sure it's been in the works, of course, for a little bit more time. I know your team works so hard behind the scenes. What is it like working behind the scenes on a show like this, and what are your biggest challenges?
Well, actually, we didn't work for a very long time behind the scenes before.
Okay.
I mean, when we started I think the idea came to us, to Penny, in like July 2020. And by October, November, we were already on air.
So
we already started filming episodes because we were very clear in terms of what the design of the show was going to be like. So and then of course having a fantastic crew, of course direction and production by NH Productions, Davinja Habukan, and there's so many other people that work behind the scenes. When you have a great team that's very clear and of course the best in class of what they do, the pulling together of the episodes is great. You know, we have a lot of fun doing it. We meet on Sunday nights, we meet Wednesday nights, we meet after the show and evening. So it's a lot of on your own personal time because of course we all work otherwise. And outside of that, it's also around people's schedules. So Navinja travels a lot. Penny has multiple different things going on. So does many members of the other team. So it's working behind the scenes on that, finding the right time to pull the episodes together. Then secondly, it's finding and conceptualizing guests that people actually want to see.
Right.
The basis of the show is profiles and personalities of interest. So of course it's about finding people who you want to hear about. You know, you want to hear about the celebrities, you want to hear the politicians, you want to hear people who are on your television every day, the news and stuff like that. On the flip side, many of these people actually shy away from the camera. And for obvious reasons, you know, they think in their professional careers and their lives, they do enough of that, and to now profile them on their personal sides, it's a lot. But the ones that come on the show have a fantastic time and they never regret it and they love it. And then thirdly, there's the actual production in terms of how do we fund all of this?
Right.
You know, and that's where it becomes, I think that's the biggest challenge, as you would have asked. The biggest challenge is how do we keep funding a show that's produced at this quality, the highest possible quality, not just in Trinidad and Tobago, but in the Caribbean and the wider region. We're talking Spanish-speaking, Dutch, French, Caribbean as well. So it's not just 20 or 30, it's like over 30 countries that compete in these Caribbean Broadcasting Awards. So how do we continue funding a show like this? And it's not just about winning the awards. It's also about getting to know our people. You know, the show profiles people who we've seen and grown up with. You know, it goes behind the scenes so you understand their inspirations, their fears, the challenges they've had in their careers. And the thing is that I must say the corporate world has not been as supportive as we would have hoped or as expected for a show that has won multiple Caribbean Media Awards. The show has the viewership. As we know, TTT has really attracted a fantastic viewership on the show. And the simulcast that we do, that it airs live on Thursdays at 8 p.m. on TTT, as well as online, it airs simultaneously and on YouTube. So there are multiple channels. So, I mean, we have episodes that are on Facebook with over 150,000 organic views.
Yes.
And this is without any sort of sponsorship or boosting of the post. It's just from the organic likes and people sharing with their friends. We have viewership from all throughout the Caribbean. You know, we have people in the comment thread, and I've reached out to talk about from Jamaica, Barbados. When you bring the show to these islands and stuff like that, we would have also had a partnership with Caribbean Airlines that allowed us to have the show aired on all of the Caribbean Airlines flights that show movies. So you could sit on a flight for 3 hours or 5 hours and look at any episode of Penny and Point from 3 seasons. Not to mention there are other international deals we've had. We've been on so many different platforms. So the reach is there,
Yes.
the viewership is there, the
Right.
quality is there. Of course, the national interest is there of profiling people who are the backbone of who we are as Trinbagonians. However, the corporate sponsorship is not quite there as yet.
Well, hoping that it's something that we're going to see come to light soon. Now, one of the things that you mentioned, of course, is the international reach. And I know for many, Penny on Point brings a sense of home.
Yes.
It doesn't matter where you are in the world, doesn't matter what Caribbean island you come from. When you see who comes through that door and the kind of activities that take place as well, it definitely tugs, as we would say, on your heartstrings.
Yeah.
Now, one of the things that I heard is that many times the guests do not know what's going to happen when they walk through the door.
Yeah.
How do you navigate that? Have you ever had any pushback from guests?
Well, the funny thing is not, you mentioned sometimes, actually no guest comes on the show knowing what's going to happen.
Right.
It's totally a surprise to every single person. And we can't pretend or stage that. So every single guest that comes on the show, they just know they're coming to be on the show. They have no idea who's going to walk through the door when Penny says, I hear a doorbell. They have no idea what the activities are. I mean, if they've seen the show, they know that there's a kitchen segment or we do something with music or fun activities in between, but they have no idea what's coming their way. And people have been generally amazing sports. I mean, the episode in particular that won the Best Magazine Television program this year was one featuring the Honorable Shamfa Kajo Lewis.
Yes.
Where, you know, we challenged her to race Penny with goats. And she was,
I remember.
at first she was like, oh my God, what did I get myself into? And, you know, she had an internal pep talk. And then, you know, she did it. We had the Honorable Farley Augustine. He was catching crabs with a stick in a hut running around the house. So we've had Minister Ayanna Webster-Roy playing charades and pretending to be a Dwen.
Yes.
We had Farah Shalwari and his mom. You know, they were on giving someone a haircut for the first time with very minimal tutorials. So the thing is, people know that the show is fun. They know that, you know, it's just to let your hair down. It's entertainment. It's meant to, you know, just show another light of them. And they've really been fantastic spots. I mean, over the years, sometimes we've had to revisit some of the concepts we've had with some guests, make some tweaks, because again, it happens live. There's no restaging. So what people see when Penny on Point airs is as live. We don't retake, so we don't say, okay, let's do that again, let's recap. No, however it falls, it swings. That's how we do it. So the thing is that in that we would make some tweaks sometimes. You have some guests who may not be able to have a particular brand in the shot because of their particular interests or conflicting sponsorship agreements or stuff like that. You have some people who may be very uncomfortable, but so far we've not had any anything like that. People just love to see what's up next.
They do love to see what's up next, and we're very excited to see what's going to be happening tomorrow evening at 8 p.m. Before we close this conversation, tell me something. What is one of your favorite episodes of Pop?
Oh boy. So many. One of my favorite episodes has to be, you put me on the spot here. I actually really enjoyed the episode with Nikki Crosby and Penelope Spencer, because I think it was one of the episodes where you saw what true friendship looks like and feels like. The laughs were contagious. The camera crew behind the scenes, everybody was literally crying with just laughing. Everybody laughed so hard in that episode. So I think that episode definitely. But there's so many. Jason Williams, trying to make saltfish with peanut butter as the secret ingredient.
My goodness gracious me.
And it was awful. we've had some pretty awful things. But those are some of the standout ones. Ian Allen, another one that was hilarious.
Listen, I mean, so these are recommendations. That's one of the reasons why I asked you, because viewers, you need to check out Penny on Point, aside from Thursday at 8 p.m, right here on TTT. Go on over to the Facebook page, go on over to the YouTube, subscribe, check out some of the episodes that Colin just mentioned, and make sure that you follow and continue to support local. Colin, thank you so much for being with us this morning. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much for having us.
We look forward to more episodes, and we look forward to you staying with us, because we are almost at the end of today's edition of Now. We'll be back in a few.